and welcome back to Riley's on the Road.
We were in Williamsburg for a week.
Let's check out what happened.
We drove all the way to Williamsburg, Virginia for a family reunion. It was amazing to see family, and we had so much fun. Most days we played games and/or went to the pool. There were 3 different pools in 2 different areas. It was fun to spend Father's Day with our dad, our uncles, and our grandpa. Some of us went to BJ's Brewhouse, which is a tradition for our family.
We visited Monticello, founding father Thomas Jefferson's house. As an architect and inventor, he designed it and included lots of gadgets, like a clock that shows the days of the week, but it ended up being too big for the front room, so Saturday is down in the basement. Many of the things in the house are original, and it was fascinating to see how a man of his stature would live in the early 1800s. Monticello might look familiar to you because it is on the back of the nickel. We got a tour of the house and checked out the basement. There was lots of stuff all over his property, like where his slaves worked and lived. We also saw his gravesite. Nearly all the family spent a day in colonial Williamsburg, which of course was a must-see stop. We visited the blacksmith shop and the old Capitol. We explored the town more and saw lots of shops. Gemma even performed Romeo and Juliet for us on a stage.
Romeo. We're falling out of Romeo.
That evening, we went out to eat at the Jefferson restaurant.
When you think spy, what do you think of? Maybe of James Bond or other fictional characters? Maybe you think of all the awesome undercover gadgets? I myself, of course, think of the gadgets, but also of all the courageous men and women who risk their lives during times of war and of peace to learn vital information that no one can know that they discovered. On Thursday, we drove up to Washington, D.C., and our family went to the International Spy Museum. I really wanted to go, and I'm so grateful we got to. It was very cool. Everyone got a cover identity for an interactive experience to be a spy. We got false names and a mission to try and complete throughout the museum at different kiosks by cracking codes, making gadgets, and such. At the end, you found out if your mission was a success. First, there was a movie we got to watch about spies. Then we went into the first room. It had many of the amazing undercover gadgets you hear about, and also covered 6 stories of real spies that reflected various periods in history. There were also rooms about coding, analysis, sabotage, deception, lethal action, propaganda, torture, cyber operations, failures, the spy film industry, and more. They had an interactive room about deciding where Bin Laden was, a bar to see how long you could hang on for, a video about the first spies that were spying during the Revolutionary War, plus the original 1777 letter from the George Washington offering Nathaniel Sackett $50 a month to spy for the Continental Army, which started the first American spy network. At the end, we finished our undercover missions, looked at a replica of the inflatable tanks the Allies used in World War II, saw the actual Aston Martin DB5 car famous in the James Bond movies, a replica of the first ever combat submarine, the Turtle, then went to the gift shop before leaving. The entire museum was fascinating. After the museum, the girls walked around the National Mall with the rest of the family, while my parents dropped me off for my 10-day trip with my Girl Scout troop to DC, New York, and Philadelphia.
On the last day, we grabbed some donuts from Duck Donuts and headed out to Virginia Beach. It was so fun and probably the best beach I visited on the Atlantic.
The Marriott Vacation Club in Williamsburg was a perfect fit for our family. My parents reserved an entire wing of the building for our family so the kids were able to freely go between units. There's so much history in the area, we were very glad to see Monticello and the Spy Museum, which we missed last spring.
It was great spending time with family.
See you next time on Riley's on the Road.
Bye!